The Justice Department's independent watchdog is blasting James Comey for setting a, quote, dangerous example by not safeguarding sensitive information during his time leading the FBI. That's specifically referring to memos Comey wrote about his interactions with President Trump, describing being asked for loyalty and to let go of an investigation into former National Security Advisor Michael Flynn. Comey shared one of the memos with a friend to share with a reporter, with the revelations triggering the appointment of special counsel Robert Mueller in 2017.
I thought that might prompt the appointment of a special counsel.
The report says Comey was not permitted to release sensitive investigative information in order to achieve a personally desired outcome. The IG says he violated FBI policy by doing so, and although some of what Comey released was later deemed classified, it was not at the time. The Justice Department is now declining to prosecute as Comey responds, defending himself today. To all those who've spent 2 years talking about me going to jail or being a liar and a leaker, ask yourselves why you still trust people who gave you bad info for so long, including the president. President Trump tweeting, perhaps never in the history of our country has someone been more thoroughly disgraced and excoriated than James Comey.
Comey, who, by the way, lied and leaked. He's a liar and he's a leaker.
Comey has become a political lightning rod for the right.
This report confirms it. Mr. Comey is a meathead. He's a political hack. He hurt the FBI badly.
But some Democrats argue Comey did what he had to do at an extraordinary political moment.
We are better off as a nation for James Comey having kept these memos, and I think they will be important well after this administration wraps up.
The White House tonight is accusing Comey of disgracing himself and his office, as Comey says he'd like to hear, "Sorry, we lied about you," from his attackers.
Hey, NBC News fans, thanks for checking out our YouTube channel. Subscribe by clicking on that button down here and click on any of the videos over here to watch the latest interviews, show highlights, and digital exclusives. Thanks for watching.